the battle for Tamil Nadu too is heating up, and BJP is sounding the poll bugle, announcing its alliance and also its intentions. Ladies and gentlemen, Home Minister Amit Shah has hit the ground running in the state of Tamil Nadu. It started with a rousing reception outside the airport, followed by a launch of a slew of development projects and political meetings. Now, this visit comes with an agenda to increase the foothold of the party in the state. Here's what happened through the day, and then we debate.
Amid rousing reception by leaders of both BJP and AIADMK, Union Home Minister Amit Shah landed in Chennai, sounding the bugle for BJP's campaign for 2021 Tamil Nadu Assembly elections.
Amit Shah had inaugurated a couple of schemes as well, where the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister had said that AIADMK and BJP alliance will go forth ahead with in the upcoming 2021 elections as well. So this meeting does bear significance when it comes to the upcoming Tamil Nadu Assembly elections.
Pushing the development agenda,
70,000 करोड़ रुपए का 70,000 करोड़ रुपीस के अलग-अलग प्रोजेक्ट्स का आज या तो लोकार्पण हुआ है या तो भूमि पूजन हुआ है और तमिलनाडु के चहुमुखी विकास के अंदर एक गति देने का काम इस छोटे से हॉल के कार्यक्रम के माध्यम से हुआ है.
And with buzz around big names joining hands,
he is thinking, I think he is organizing his followers and all, but I will convince him to come to BJP because I have come.
BJP plans to take on Tamil Nadu's bipolar politics by the horn, a state where the party still has to make inroads.
Over the last couple of years, new parties have come up in Tamil Nadu, especially with significant political figures such as significant people in the film industry such as Kamal Haasan as well as Rajinikanth also saying that they will be starting their political journeys. While Kamal Haasan is right now the political chief of Makkal Needhi Mayam, you also see that there are rumors going around with several fans and followers of superstar Rajinikanth hoping that Talaivar will start his political entry soon enough.
While the success of Bihar bolstering BJP's confidence and the allies dismissing reports of a relationship gone sour.
With his deep knowledge, experience, and with his shrewd political acumen, he has been able to turn adversity into success through his golden touch. As a modern-day Chanakya, with unflinching loyalty, he has been instrumental in maintaining excellent internal peace and order and played a vital role in several historical achievements of the Union government. தேசிய அளவில் இந்தியாவை இன்றைக்கு வல்லரசு நாடாக உருவாக்கி காட்டுகின்ற நிகழ்ச்சியில் பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சி அதை தலைமை தாங்கி நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்ற நம்முடைய பாரத பிரதமர் மோடிஜி அவர்கள் இன்றைக்கு மிகவும் கடினமாக இந்திய திருநாட்டை நல்வழிப்படுத்துவதற்கு ஆற்றலுடன் செயல்பட்டுக் கொண்டிருக்கின்றார். இனி வருகின்ற தேர்தலில் அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா முன்னேற்ற கழகம் பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சியும் அந்த வெற்றி கூட்டணி தொடரும் என்பதனை நான் இந்த கூட்டத்தின் மூலமாக தெரிவித்துக் கொள்ள கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கிறேன்.
Now what remains to be seen is whether the party can emerge out of the shadow of its allies and make head ground in the southern state. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, Srijit Panikkar, Savio Rodriguez, chief editor, Goa Chronicle. Also, we'll be joined by Apsara Reddy, who has recently quit the Congress party, rejoining the AIADMK. We'll be joined by Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst, and also Abdul Razak Khan. Many more joining us as we go along. The big question continues to be if the kind of presence that the BJP is trying to build in the state of Tamil Nadu is making some nervous. Abdul Razak, why don't I come to you first? The BJP is as mean an electoral machine as one has seen in the last few years. In fact, the entire polity has been shifted towards the BJP. If you concede that much alone, I will then ask you that when Amit Shah himself starts helming the BJP's election strategy and its recruitment, also its plans for a state, does that not make the opposition a little worried?
Shivani, first of all, Tamil Nadu is considered one of the most peaceful states in this country. Now, people of Tamil Nadu would never welcome Amit Shah. If you look at the recent Vel Yatra, it was nothing but a fail yatra because not many people welcomed this Vel Yatra of BJP. Now, the BJP's grand design
I don't
for
think
bringing
Twitter
in the
hashtags
Hindutva
are a
ideology
barometer.
in Tamil
Abdul,
Nadu.
I was asking you a much more serious question. I'm not really asking you about the people, whether they're welcoming him or not. That itself is an embarrassing situation, to be honest, because you should not promote this kind of politics where the Home Minister of the country is not welcome in any part of the country.
Amit Shah
And I
is
don't want to
going
get into
there.
that. Frankly, that's passé. Please
Amit
answer
Shah
what I'm
is
asking
going
you.
there only to make some engagements. Their relationship with AIA DMK itself is strained. People in AIA
Yes,
DMK
so what's wrong
itself
with that?
are not welcoming Amit Shah here. If you look at it, now I'm saying they will not make any inroads in Tamil
Abdul,
Nadu.
why are you
This is just
why
a
are you
failed
answering
yatra
that?
they
I'm
are
not
doing.
interested in that. I'm asking you, if Amit Shah lands
What do you
itself
want to
in
know,
Chennai, you know, the kind of words that have been exchanged today between the BJP and the AIADMK, disregarding what you are saying, you are suggesting that there is something else. They're not saying that, at least. Exact opposite is on display. Does that make the opposition nervous? You can say no. Why are you running away from that question?
Why should we be nervous? Why should the opposition be nervous? Look at the Lok Sabha results. When the entire country stood with BJP, the people of Tamil Nadu stood with the UPA. Why will we be nervous? Let them come, let them indulge in their
They stood
Hindutva
with the
politics.
UPA?
People of Tamil Nadu will reject them on their face.
Okay, I think I'll let Sanju Verma answer that. Apsara Reddy is getting ready. I do have a few pointed questions for her, and Abdul and Syed both can then retort to Apsara. But Sanju, you want to respond to what the BJP is aiming for? Now, traditionally, of course, it's a tough situation for any national party. Very heavily dominated by regional parties, cult figures in recent past. How do you plan to break, how do you plan to break forward your fortunes in the state, Sanju?
Shivani, I think you put it very well when you said in your introductory statement that the BJP is a mean electoral machine. And to add to that, I will say that the mean electoral machine is not just concerned about vote banks and vote shares and seats won, though power is all about the winnability quotient. I'll be frank enough to admit that. Having said that, I think a lot has changed between Lok Sabha 2019, when the DMK and Congress swept 38 out of the 39 seats, and the BJP was left with just one seat by its, ally. But the fact is, now look at what has happened in the last couple of months. 108 kgs of food grains were given free of cost to the Tamil Makkal population during COVID times in the last 4 months. 3.5 crore kgs of pulses. 2.5 lakh crore Sagarmala project is in various stages of implementation. Today, Amit Shah ji laid the foundation and gave the commitment of BJP towards spending 67,000 crore on various projects, of which 62,000 crores will be spent on phase 2 of
So,
the
Sanju, do you believe developmental projects alone will do it for the BJP? Tamil Nadu politics seems to be a little bit more complicated than just that.
Nothing of the sort has happened. Whatever you are saying,
Okay, Abdul
that is
wants to
just
respond
on
to you.
paper.
I'll come to
Shivani,
that.
all
I'll
that
come to
Sanju
that.
Verma ji is saying is
Please
just
let me
on
speak.
paper. Nothing of the sort has happened in Tamil Nadu. Nothing of that sort has happened in Tamil Nadu. You please don't give false.
Okay, let her respond now. Please, I have to go to other guests
All your
also.
equations will fall flat
Stop
when
your
Shashikala
monologue.
comes.
Stop your monologue.
Your all equations will
Please
fall
now
flat
shut
when
up, because
Shashikala
you don't
comes.
seem to understand polite language.
Madam
Shivani, what is this?
Shashikala ji will be
Okay,
arriving in
Abdul,
some
let her
days.
respond now.
All
Continue
your
ranting.
equations will fall flat.
Let me
People
complete.
will reject you on your
Shivani, you
face.
will have to ask him to please keep quiet. This
You
is
will
not
face
done.
the same thing what you faced in Lok Sabha.
Is this how you
This is
allow
just
me
now
to debate,
started,
Shivani?
madam.
Okay,
You mute
okay,
my
Sanju.
mic. Why is this man
You
allowed
will
to talk?
see
Okay,
people
Abdul,
will
start
reject
now.
you.
Abdul.
Why is this man
This is
allowed
not
to
North
rebut
India.
and butt in
Where
when
Abdul,
I'm
India,
please
you are wrong.
allow her to
Nobody
go on. I
politics.
have to bring in other guests
This
also.
is
Please,
South
please
India.
don't speak over each other. Sanju, please quickly, but
Okay. Let me just tell you one thing. Today, a lot of people, I have so many friends and relatives in Chennai. This north-south divide does not work anymore. The West Bengal results of 2019, where the BJP won 18 seats, just 4 less than the TMC, which won 22, should be a big lesson to everyone who has ever dared to dismiss the BJP, Amit Shah or JP Nadda, or for that matter, Narendra Modi's governance-oriented politics. So please don't stop. Please don't start mocking the population of Tamil Nadu by coming to television studios and saying that development does not matter. Development matters, good governance matters.
I'm not saying that at all.
Secondary. Religious coalitions are secondary.
Okay.
Tell you that Tamil Nadu today has been facing
All right, I just want to go across.
It has been facing the onslaught of the Ummah. It has been facing the onslaught of anti-Hindu sentiment, which has been so pervasive.
Madam,
Why did the BJP have to take out the Vel Yatra? It was because of
Tamil Nadu
it was because of the protests against Skanda Shastri, simply because we wanted to pray
Okay.
Skanda Purana, simply because we invoked the Manusmriti.
All
There
right,
were
both of you,
people,
please hang on now.
anti-Hindu
I have to go across to Apsara Reddy,
set of people.
and I will also like C. Rajashekharan to come in.
BJP cannot carry out
I'm
this
asking both of them to come in together because Apsara has just quit the Congress party and has rejoined the AIA-DMK, knowing fully well, of course, about their alliance with the BJP. So I would like to know her views on not just her decision, but also what she makes of the BJP's politics in Tamil Nadu. C. Rajashekharan also, because lately he's been very critical of the directionless leadership of the Congress party. Apsara, I want to start with you. You've said that the high command culture of the Congress doesn't work for a state like Tamil Nadu. Unfortunately for the Congress, we are finding it doesn't work anywhere, in fact. It is totally out of vogue. What would you say about the political scenario in Tamil Nadu today, especially after you having joined the AIA-DMK?
Firstly, Shivani, thank you for having me on Republic. It feels great to be back on a platform which I was banned to be on from the Congress. I think curtailing anybody's freedom of speech and going on media platforms is condemnable, and I was not allowed to come on this channel, which I very much enjoy coming on. So it feels great to be back. To answer your pointed question, I really feel that high command politics does not work in a state like Tamil Nadu because the Tamil identity is far larger than any religious identity or any gender identity. There's an identity in Tamil Nadu only which Tamil people understand. This high command culture of sending in charges who don't speak the language or not allowing regional leaders to grow and where it's completely controlled by the high command does not work in Tamil Nadu. And also the Congress does not have an inclusive leadership in the state which gives other people a chance to rise in the state and actually garner votes or garner goodwill for the party in the state. It's controlled by people with large surnames and larger egos. And first of all, to talk about the topic which you started off the debate with, Mr. Amit Shah is the Home Minister of this country, and he's done so much for Tamil Nadu, albeit if it's just financial or even whatever the other speaker was saying, it's just financial support. But the sync between the state and the national government is very, very essential for the people of Tamil Nadu. And I think the Home Minister of the country has to be, given the kind of welcome he deserves in a state. You can't keep sending hashtags because you have IT wings with massive budgets. I think this is really petty, childish politics. We need to
But Apsara, as someone who has just left the Congress, you've joined the AIA-DMK, knowing fully well, of course, the push that the BJP is making. I want to know from you, can the BJP breach the Tamil Nadu barrier?
I think the combination of AIDMK and the BJP together can most definitely sweep this elections in Tamil Nadu because the BJP has been giving a fantastic government nationally and also has done its fair share for the people of Tamil Nadu. And I think the Amma government is continuing under Mr. Edappadi Palanichami. And we have no electricity.
So the north-south divide that Sanju referred to, the Hindi, anti-Hindi politics, the hashtag politics of you are not welcome here, you think all of these are superficial issues? When people come out to vote, these won't actually matter? Apsara and then C. Rajashekharan, I'm going to come back to you in just a bit. But after what Apsara says, I want Royden Roach to respond, please, if he's there with us.
I think
what about these issues that are being made as the Tamil Nadu issues?
Hashtags do not work in Tamil Nadu. I think it's proven time and time again in the past few elections. Social media budgets and inflated egos alone cannot drive an election. I think that has been happening in Tamil Nadu by the opposition, by the DMK and of course the Congress. It doesn't work in Tamil Nadu. Jayalalitha managed to swept back to power for a second consecutive term only because she kind of never went by what was said on social media. She was not even on social media, and AIADMK never invested in such large social media budgets to diss the opposition. They focused on reaching their welfare measures to the people.
What about this North-South thing and the Hindi language wars? Are they a factor?
Tamil Nadu is the only state in the whole of India which welcomes anybody from any corner of the world and any part of India. And people have found home, business and professional enterprise here. Tamil Nadu is the only state in India which can boast of that kind of inclusivity.
So, C. Rajashekharan, you're still sympathetic towards the Congress. You're unhappy, though, of the coterie that's making the decision these days. What would you say about the fact Apsara believes that, these issues that are being made as Tamil Nadu issues or Tamil pride issues are frankly not the issues? People will vote on development at the end of the day. If you look at what has happened in Bihar, at the end of the day, the opposition fought a good fight. They tried to fight on the plank of development. Still, it is Narendra Modi who was actually, preferred.
Absolutely.
So something about Narendra Modi and BJP is working in states after states. C. Rajashekharan.
Shivani, you rightly said, I'm really saddened the way the Congress is performing, and it is a captainless ship in Delhi. Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi are big failures for Congress. They have become a liability for Congress party, and Madam Sonia Gandhi is not well. The problem with BJP, I'll tell you, really, I have no issues with BJP. The arrogant behavior, the attitude, see how the spokesperson behaved on a national TV. Same thing in the regional TV also. See, the people of Tamil Nadu will welcome anybody. As rightly pointed out by Apsara, I agree with her. We welcome everybody, even the enemies who come home, we invite them and give them food. That is the Tamil culture. But you cannot threaten us at gunpoint and impose something and say you have to vote for this party, otherwise I'll put you inside, behind the bars. This is the way the BJP behaves in Tamil Nadu.
What are you referring to?
In the last 6 years. That is the reason I'm against BJP on that point. But as far as other issues, I have no issues. AIADMK can join with anybody. It is their prerogative, their wish. They can align with anybody. But the people of Tamil Nadu have always welcomed, because if you take the track record, MGR was from Kerala, Jayalalitha was from Karnataka, but they have been chief ministers of Tamil Nadu. We have always welcomed people from other states to become the chief ministers and ministers, MLAs, MPs. So the dynastic problem in Congress party and the DMK is going to really give them the biggest trouble in the coming elections. Definitely DMK is going to face a backlash in overall issues. And if BJP is smart enough, they can rope in like-minded people, and they can definitely bring a change. But they should not be so arrogant on media debates and public meetings, and the attitude should be cut off by the Home Minister.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, C. Rajashekharan, but I cannot really take that point forward. I'm sorry, I cannot debate how people are debating on debates as the political issue, unfortunately. Apsara wants to come in. I'll then go. 1 second, I'll go across to Syed after that. DMK is going to suffer, Congress is going to suffer. This is coming from a Congress sympathizer. Apsara first, and then Syed.
Shivani, I feel there's a perfect sync between the Congress and DMK because they both are dynastic parties. They're all busy promoting their sons and son-in-laws and daughters and whoever has a large surname or who are born into the family. It's only the AIADMK where even the last person in the cadre can become a minister, and it's been demonstrated in every result. Last time in Tamil Nadu itself, people rejected in the assembly elections the Congress-DMK alliance. People are ready to tell them, send them packing again this time. So the debate is not about whether BJP and AIADMK will work.
Okay.
The debate is about what can the BJP and Congress deliver.
Syed, can I ask you this? Syed, you can make your point, but I just want to ask you, as someone who's opposed to the BJP or its politics, why should the Tamil Nadu electorate reject the BJP or not even look at them as an option? You often sound like, oh, they are not even an option. But why should the public think like that? Because state after state, they're only improving their strike rate. They're only doing better than they ever have. Which basically means that the public is not in sync with that.
Shivani ji, precisely, I'm very glad that you've asked me this question, and I'm very thankful to you, and I'd like to answer you. And that was, in fact, my point. The problem with Bharatiya Janata Party in Tamil Nadu politics is such that Tamil Nadu people, the voters, are very intelligent. They call off the duplicity of the Bharatiya Janata Party when it comes to, Modi ji.
So other voters are not intelligent.
On one
because
hand,
in Bihar people did not vote for Congress, so they were not intelligent.
Really honorably.
What do you mean Tamil Nadu voters are intelligent?
Allow me to complete my point, please. Allow me. So when Modi ji and Amit Shah ji speak of Tamil culture, Tamil pride, on the same platform, they also, when they're in the center, they speak of Hindi imposition. So what kind of a duplicity and hypocrisy is this? Also, as a matter of fact,
they've denied that.
Hindi belt politics is different, where you can do your Hindutva, Hinduism. Tamil Nadu will outrightly reject your Hindutva, Hinduism, like they rejected the Vel Yatra. EPS himself, their own
Okay, that's a good point. I want to go across to Srijit Panikkar with that.
Also, as a matter of fact, let me tell you, Rafael Nadal is good on a clay court, but a Roger Federer all the way wins in the green court. And let me tell you here, I'm sorry to tell the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Can I just tell you, since you brought up tennis, that is my forte. Rafa was the winner at the grass, on the grass at Wimbledon well before Federer won on clay. So don't write off people, okay?
Once in a while they might have it.
There are lots of tennis players on the panel tonight.
It's not once in a while, he won twice at Wimbledon. Anyways.
Shivani, I want to make one quick point. One quick point which I want to make is that today, Amit Shah ji very categorically asked the people of Tamil Nadu, when Manmohan Singh led UPA was there for 10 years from 2004 to 2014, the budget for Tamil Nadu was a measly 16,000 crore. Immediately after coming to the helm of affairs in 2014, we increased it to 32,800 crore. More than 70,000 crore projects are under various stages of implementation. Are you telling me development-oriented politics has no space? In Tamil Nadu, today look at the law and order situation, right from the Easter riots in Sri Lanka.
No, but I think Syed made a good point about the BJP core politics, which is about whether you like it or not. It is also about Hindutva or Hindu emotions. I want to go across to Srijit Panikkar with that. I want to go, no, 1 second, Sanju, please. I want to go across to Srijit Panikkar with that, and Muralidharan can also respond to that. What does the BJP bring to the table for the Tamil Nadu electorate, which is often very happy choosing between DMK and AIADMK?
Well, Shivani, to start off, let me introduce to other panelists that, I am someone who is actually living in a neighboring state of Kerala, so I can bring probably, a closer perspective of what is happening there. So for years, there has been this traditional aversion to BJP in the south states, probably except Karnataka. So now, what happens in Tamil Nadu for over the last few decades has been Jayalalitha on the one hand and Karunanidhi on the other hand. But this time, it is going to be AIADMK sans Jayalalitha, and on the other hand, it will be DMK sans Karunanidhi. So it is very much a battle of the people who have been the second line of both these parties, and therefore it will also be a character test or a test of their clout. And here is where BJP is probably having their best opportunity. This is probably the best time that they can strike both in Kerala and also in Tamil Nadu in terms of the assembly polls. But a lot of undercurrents are happening at the same time, which probably can help BJP, because at the same time, we saw that one of our panelists, Ms. Apsara Reddy, she deserted Congress party and went back to AIADMK. A few weeks ago, Khushbu Sundar, an actress and one of the prime faces of the Congress party in the state, she actually deserted the party and joined BJP. And there is this possibility, that is being rumored about a possible discussion of Amit Shah with Alagiri, who is actually having very close connections with a lot of people with clout. And at the same time, we are also hearing rumors about some possible discussions with Rajinikanth. So BJP is trying to get a step in. They are actually trying to get a foot in the door and try to possibly make a very strong alliance with AIADMK and appeal to all of the people. Let me complete, sir. Let me complete, sir, for a minute. Please hold for a minute. The possibility here is that there are a lot of other undercurrents as well. There is this possibility of Shashikala's emergence. There is this possibility of AMMK, which is brought by Dinakaran. So there are a lot of things which are underplaying the larger picture right now, and these undercurrents are strong enough to decide the mandate next time. And one request to all the other fellow panelists is that whether you like it or not, please do not write off the electorate here. Do not say that the electorate in Karnataka or Tamil Nadu is wiser than some of the people in Bihar or the other, which is purely shame on yourself and your politics. Don't do that. Please do not do that. Your representation, your party representation in the national media is not to defend the electorate in a particular state, but it is actually to take and accept the mandate that these people are giving to you in the election. So the relevance of all these political parties are going to be tested here.
I want to quickly bring in Muralidharan and Savio also, who haven't spoken. Syed, please respond and rebut at the proper opportune time, please. I want to go across to Muralidharan first. How do you read the political situation in Tamil Nadu? I also want to ask you a little bit, Muralidharan, about do you believe that, I wouldn't use decline is too harsh a word, but perhaps the prominence of some of the regional parties declining in some of the states, which has coincided with the humongous rise of BJP in those states. Do you see something of that happening at all in Tamil Nadu? Or are regional parties will continue to be, of course, the front runners? Muralidharan, please.
See, it's a situation like Bihar. You've seen what's happening for the last, 3 elections. BJP is very happy to pay the second fiddle. Now, in Tamil Nadu, people should realize, everybody's talking theory and nobody's talking practicals. Last 3 years after the demise of Amma, you have to check what's been happening. AIADMK, it started with Edappadi, and he had to prove, he has to fill into Amma's shoes and prove his worth. Now, today, what is happening? You take the example of COVID. How did he perform? Okay, look at all the other states. We are much ahead. You compare with Delhi, you compare with, neighboring Kerala. Kerala was supposed to be done fairly well in the initial stages, but they all fall flat. Today, he's done a commendable job in COVID. Second is water resources. Today, Tamil Nadu can proudly say within another few years, it can become a water surplus state. That kind of efforts they have put in. And holding on to all those things, then the reservation which he brought in few days ago, 7.5% for the socially backward. The socially backward. That was a fantastic. Let me finish, sir. Let me finish. Then you can rebut, sir. Let me finish, sir. Then you can rebut.
Syed, one by one, please. Syed, please, let's listen to everyone. Because it is a complex situation. Everyone wants to understand it. I want to understand from Muralidharan. Royden Roach is also finally joining us. If I can have him on the screen as well. And he can take on from where Muralidharan leaves us. But Muralidharan, what I wanted to ask you was that every time, I come to Sanju or you or others, they're talking about the development push or what has happened under the AIADMK recently. So are you telling me that cult politics of Tamil Nadu is receding and finally it's going to be about these issues alone? Or just about welfare schemes?
It's all going to
Muralidharan quickly and then Royden Roach can respond.
See, Mr. Edappadi hit a sixer with the 7.55% NEET reservation for the socially, economically backward people. It's not about caste. 313 students of government schools are going to enter medical schools, because last 10 years, there were only 200 of them could do it. Now, this is a sixer which is hit. Now, seeing all these dimensions, it's why Mr. Amit Shah, he didn't think twice. There's a possibility of Rasikala coming in, Rajinikanth coming in. All these factors were there. Factors were there. But he said, no, I'm going to go with ADMK. It looks like a better bet. Another point, the Vel Yatra, etc. DMK actually using their alliance, which are fringe parties, smaller parties, took on ADMK, in the BJP, in a different, caste angle, which is attacking the Brahminical, association with the BJP. They thought they can abuse Hinduism so that the Brahmins will get hurt. That misfire. They put a foot on their mouth. Today, what is happening is they actually gave a red carpet welcome to BJP's Hindutva, agenda here. Hindus are getting united. That's a bigger,
that may be a stretch. That may be a stretch, but I'll let Royden Roach respond to that. Okay, Muralidharan, I'll let Royden Roach respond to that. The BJP and the AIADMK, Royden Roach are absolutely confident that their alliance is the winner in Tamil Nadu this time.
Let me tell you one thing very frankly about Tamil Nadu. I can tell you about Tamil Nadu and the entire southern state, other than Karnataka, where BJP is taken on in Karnataka, but you can see the way it is dragging along. There's no way that you can have BJP over there in Tamil Nadu. People will not accept the BJP. And let me tell you one thing, gentlemen, when you talk about Hindutva,
why do you say that?
The Hindus are not at all against division.
No, but why do you say that?
Hindus are not at all against division.
Things that BJP wasn't supposed to be doing, they've done it already.
Hindus, do not talk about Hindutva. Do not talk about Hindutva. Hindus are never against any minorities. It is the BJP and the RSS which creates it. Let me tell you,
I'm not talking
BJP and the RSS is the enemy of the country, which divides the people. And you think Tamil Nadu is going to accept them? No way. You will not have Tamil Nadu accepting them. You see what Kerala done to them? Kerala threw them out. They thought they would do something in Kerala. Kerala threw them out. Same thing they're trying in Telangana. With Telangana, it will throw them out. Southern states will not allow the BJP to come in. And you'll watch and see the next time BJP is going to have a flat fall the entire country. Do not take BR.
All right, Royden, I'm going to come back to you to talk about the DMK Congress effort. It is one thing to say that the BJP is going to be a pariah in Tamil Nadu forever, but you cannot rest your hopes on that alone. Apsara Reddy wants to come in very quickly. After that, Savio, please, he hasn't had his turn. Apsara, very quickly, please.
Leaving the Congress, joining the BJP, joining other parties is the weakness of the person.
Can I get a word?
Let me tell you, the people are weak. That's the reason why the people are
Royden,
weak.
let Apsara come in, please.
Parties. Let me tell you, if you are strong enough, you should learn to face and fight it.
Okay, so Apsara, I think he's now personally talking about you as well. You can respond to that.
I didn't pay attention to what you were saying.
Anyone changing a party are hypocrites.
I didn't pay attention to what he said, and it's irrelevant.
Okay.
Taking a larger point here, we're talking about Hindutva, and I agree completely with Mr. Muralidharan that, while BJP may unabashedly celebrate the Vel Yatra and may have this Hindutva agenda, but they're not decrying any religion so blatantly like Stalin does. He goes to the Devar Jayanti, which is a very auspicious event, and he's seen dusting off the religious stuff that they give. Don't go to that place if you don't like that religion. Don't insult the religion. BJP doesn't do that. So I think this whole thing...
Okay. The whole states, they are ruling, Hindutva is brought in there, but they are the one again with the Hindus, there's a division.
I think all this animated talk will not help me.
What BJP is trying there.
All right, let's just have...
And talking about hypocrites...
Savio can take on forward from then. Royden...
Why does BJP...
Yes, Apsara, respond if you want to respond on that personal remark. I'll give you 30 seconds.
Can I come in? Mr. Karunanidhi not being there and Madam Jayalalitha not being there, cult-like figures. I must say, in the defense of our Chief Minister, Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy, everybody said his government is going to crash in 10 days, in 20 days, in 3 months, in 1 year.
Yes.
But he's on, and he's stuck on, and he's consolidated, he's maintained a fantastic relationship with the centre. He's done the best for the people of Tamil Nadu, and all the issues of water, electricity,
I think if you check the previous debates of mine, I said the government will not crash. But the next government will not be his.
And his opinion is not going to matter.
Okay, both of you, I have to go to Savio. He hasn't had his turn. Savio and Royden, please. Savio, what do you make of the battle, Savio? The point also is, Savio, that, the BJP doesn't shy away from a fight. They are really hungry for states like Bengal, for Tamil Nadu, for Kerala. They may not start off very well, but they're going to put their all. Amit Shah is going to do it. Narendra Modi is going to do it. Where do you see the fight from the other side is the big question often.
Mr. Amit Shah doesn't earn it. Mr. Amit Shah doesn't earn it. He buys his people.
Okay.
Let me tell you, Mr. Amit Shah doesn't earn it.
Royden, I think Shivani is talking to me. She's not talking to you.
Let's have you speak, please. Let him at least have a minute, Royden.
Commando,
Royden, let him have a minute, then you interject, please.
The old debate, Savio. Let me tell you, you do not have the old debate. I have the right to speak.
Oh, please, shut up!
I have the right to clear my mind.
Shut up, Royden, for a minute.
Okay, let him have a minute.
Don't be a
Let him have a minute.
You shut up.
Savio, please calm down.
I tell you. You cannot.
Savio, please calm down. I am going to intervene. Royden,
you have to learn to behave yourself.
Royden, let him have a minute or I'll have to take you off air. I don't want to do this, please. Royden, calm down. You have no right to be taking the time that Savio is very much entitled to. Savio, please. Savio and Syed.
But he cannot tell somebody to shut up.
Okay, first things first. The Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu from the AIDMK has made very strong inroads. Many people did not think he would be able to stand and withstand the next level of Tamil Nadu politics, but the AIDMK leader has done just that. So we should not write him off. Number one. Number two, BJP in 2021 will not really make a major dent as it's expected to. But they will make a dent and they will make an inroad so that by 2026 there will be a reckoning force in Tamil Nadu. Number three, DMK is the party that needs to be beaten. They need to be beaten with all leaders like AIDMK, BJP, Alagiri, and most important of all, Rajnikant coming into play. That is when DMK will be beaten. Number four, the people of Tamil Nadu, and I've spent time there, a lot of time. The people of Tamil Nadu want a change from the current dispensation in terms of the political parties, the ideology. They want growth, they want development, but most of all, they want hope. So they are looking at an amalgamation coming together to take Tamil Nadu to the future. So AIDMK, please understand that you have got a good leader leading you. That is what the people of Tamil Nadu are looking for.
All right.
Today,
We have to end
when
there.
a leader like Rajnikant dies,
No, Syed, I'm sorry, I'm out of time.
you will have a strong party against DMK.
Savio, my
DMK is
friend,
the
they
one to beat.
outrightly reject Tamil Nadu. They reject Amit Shah. They reject all
Who rejects Tamil Nadu?
Politics are rejected in Tamil Nadu.
Who rejects Tamil Nadu?
Well, everybody is making predictions. Nobody is really in the position to do so. I'm sorry I've run out of time. The one thing that is for sure is that even if, it's not going to be huge inroads, as Savio said, this year or next year, the BJP is not shying away from a fight where people give it no chance. They believe they can make inroads. And just saying that they will not be accepted by people is not the politics perhaps that will help the opposition. They must at least firm up their plans. And of course, as the run-up to the Tamil Nadu election takes place, we will keep asking the opposition or the DMK Congress in this case what their plans are to stop the inroad that the BJP is planning. I do thank all of you for joining us.
In the days to come.